A broken soldier thinks the galaxy has already taken everything from him, but the universe decides to give him one last strange chance. Ethan Cole drifted through the dark with only the soft hum of a dying shuttle keeping him company. He sat in the pilot's seat, staring at the cracked window as stars stretched like thin white lines around him. The shuttle had lost most of its power. One engine was dead. The other kept coughing like it was about to give up. Even the lights inside blinked off and on, as if choosing whether to stay alive. Ethan's hands shook on the controls. He wasn't scared of dying. He was simply tired. Tired in a way that pressed into his bones and made every small breath feel heavy. He had been a soldier for too many years. He had survived too many battles. And now, after everything, he was completely alone. The last mission had gone wrong. Terribly wrong. He had tried to help families escape the attack on the frontier colony. He remembered the noise, the smoke, the screams. He remembered pulling a child out of a collapsing building. He remembered the flash of fire when the Empire's ships struck the ground again and again. He remembered the moment he realized his whole team was gone. Ethan closed his eyes. He could still feel the heat on his skin, the smell of burning metal, the small hand of the child slipping away as the explosion hit. He had survived, but surviving didn't feel like a blessing. Felt like punishment. He wiped his eyes with the back of his hand. He didn't want to cry, but the tears were already there. The stars blurred behind the wetness. His voice cracked as he whispered into the empty cabin. "I'm sorry, I tried." No one answered. There was only the soft, constant hum of the failing engine. He checked the fuel gauge again, even though he already knew the truth. He had maybe 30 minutes left before the shuttle's power ran out completely. After that, it would drift deeper into space until the cold took him. Ethan leaned back in his seat and let out a long, shaky breath. He didn't have the strength to fight anymore. He didn't have the strength to even hope. "This is it," he whispered. "This is really it." His voice sounded small in the silent cabin. For a long moment he simply sat there. He felt the stillness around him. He felt the loneliness press in like a weight on his chest. No more orders. No more missions. No more running. Only the dark. Then the shuttle shook. Ethan opened his eyes quickly. He checked the screens. Nothing made sense. Every monitor flashed strange symbols. The shuttle jerked once more as if caught in invisible hands. "What now?" he muttered. Lights outside the window grew brighter, white, blue, then gold. The stars twisted out of shape, swirling like water pulled into a whirlpool. Ethan grabbed the seat, his heart pounding. The shuttle began to tilt. Alarms beeped weakly, then died again. He wasn't doing this. Something else was. A warm wave of energy surged beneath the shuttle, lifting it, guiding it. Ethan tried to steer, but the controls no longer responded. It felt like the ship was being carried by something unseen, something strong, something alive. The golden light flashed once, and the shuttle shot downward. Ethan braced for impact. All the lights in the cabin flooded white. He felt the world spin, felt gravity return all at once, felt the shuttle slam through something thick. Trees? Branches. Before it crashed into the ground. When everything stopped moving, Ethan lay still. He tasted smoke. The air smelled like wet soil and strange flowers. The lights above him glowed a soft pale green. He could hear distant animal calls echoing somewhere far away. He pushed himself up slowly. Pain shot through his shoulder, but he ignored it. He looked around the broken cabin. Cracks ran across the walls. A panel had fallen near his feet. The window was smashed, letting cool, moist air drift inside. He wasn't in space anymore. He was on a planet. Ethan crawled toward the opening and pushed aside a twisted piece of metal. Outside, soft glowing plants lit the forest floor. Small blue sparks floated through the air like fireflies made of starlight. Tall trees with silver leaves stood in all directions, whispering as the wind passed through them. He had never seen anything like this. He stepped out of the shuttle and felt the soft ground under his boots. He looked up to see a sky tinted purple, with 3 moons hanging low. Everything was calm. Everything was strangely peaceful. And Ethan broke. He didn't mean to. The tears came without warning. His chest tightened. He covered his face with his hands as a wave of grief rolled through him. Everything he had held together finally shattered. I tried my best, he whispered. I didn't want to fail them. His voice cracked again. He fell to his knees, shaking. The forest around him stayed quiet, as if listening. For the first time in years, there were no orders to follow. No battle to fight. No one to save. There was only him, and the silence. He didn't know how long he stayed like that. Minutes, maybe longer. His breath came and went in uneven waves. He felt completely empty, completely lost. Then something moved behind him. Ethan froze. He turned slowly. At the edge of the clearing stood a small figure. Not human. Not fully, at least. A boy, maybe 10 years old, watched him with wide golden eyes. His skin was smooth with patches of small, shining scales. Short horns curved gently from the sides of his head. Small wings folded neatly behind him like soft, dark fabric. He tilted his head, studying Ethan with curious, calm interest. Ethan stared back, unsure whether to be scared or simply confused. The boy stepped closer, moving lightly as if each step barely touched the ground. He stopped just a few feet away. His expression softened when he saw Ethan's tears. He raised a hand slowly, like someone approaching a frightened animal. Don't cry, human, the boy said in a quiet, soothing voice. My mother will look after you. Ethan blinked, stunned. He opened his mouth to speak, but no sound came out. The boy smiled gently, almost shyly. Come with me. She will help you. Ethan looked at him, this strange, impossible child of scales and wings, and for the first time since the colony fell, something inside him shifted. Not hope, not yet, but something close to it. Something warm, something alive. And he followed. The forest stayed quiet as Ethan followed the strange boy through the glowing trees. The air was cool, soft, and calm. Every breath felt easier here, even though Ethan's mind was still full of confusion. His legs were tired, but somehow he kept moving. The boy walked ahead with light steps, almost floating. Small scales on his arms shimmered whenever the faint golden light touched them. Ethan watched him carefully, unsure if he should speak or stay silent. Finally, he found his voice. What are you? Ethan asked softly. The boy didn't stop walking, but he looked back with a kind smile. My name is Kale, he said. I am a dragon child. Ethan blinked. He wasn't sure he heard that correctly. Dragon child? Ethan repeated. Kale nodded like it was the most ordinary thing in the world. Yes, not fully dragon and not fully human-born. My mother is a great dragon. She protects this land. He paused, then added, and she will protect you too. Ethan didn't know what to say. Dragons were legends. Stories told by old travelers in quiet bars. No one had ever proved they were real. And now a dragon child was walking right in front of him. They moved deeper into the forest. Tall trees with silver leaves rustled softly as they passed. The ground glowed with gentle blue light that grew brighter whenever Kale stepped on it. Where are we? Ethan asked. Our home, Kale said. My mother keeps the land safe. Humans from the Empire do not come here. They are afraid of her. Ethan's heart tightened. Even here, the Empire's shadow reached. Why did you help me? He asked quietly. Kale looked over his shoulder again. This time, his expression was gentle and serious. Because you were crying, Kale said simply. And because my mother says no one deserves to die alone. Those words stopped Ethan for a moment. He looked at the boy, feeling something shift again in his chest. A small warmth. A small crack in the heavy wall around his heart. Thank you, Ethan whispered. Kale smiled, proud of himself, and kept walking. They reached a place where the trees opened into a wide clearing. Soft mist floated above the ground. The air felt warm, like someone invisible was breathing gently over the land. Kale lifted his head. She is here, he said. Everything went still. A low, deep sound rolled through the clearing. Not frightening, not angry, more like a slow, powerful heartbeat made of air. The mist parted, and Ethan saw her. She was enormous, far larger than any creature he had seen in his life. Her scales were silver and soft, glowing like moonlight on water. Long horns curved back from a strong head. Her wings folded neatly against her sides, each one wider than the trees around them. Her eyes glowed warm gold, full of age and calm wisdom. Ethan stepped back without meaning to. His breath caught. Cale walked forward with no fear at all. "Mother," he said softly, "this is the human I told you about. He was hurt. He was crying. I brought him to you." The great dragon lowered her head slowly, gracefully. She studied Ethan. Every breath she took stirred the air around him like a warm breeze. "You carry pain," she said. Her voice was deep, soft, and strangely gentle. "And you carry loss. Come closer, human." Ethan hesitated. His heart pounded. But something in her eyes, something warm and steady, pulled him forward. He stepped closer. "You fell from the sky," the dragon said. "Broken, tired, ready to give up. But you are not meant to die today." Ethan swallowed hard, his throat tight. Why help me?" he asked. "Because my child asked," she answered. "And because I see a heart that still wants to protect, even through pain." She lowered her head more, until her warm breath brushed against his skin. "You are safe here. Rest. Breathe. Let the forest hold you." Ethan didn't know what to say. He felt small and fragile under her gaze. But he also felt something he hadn't felt in a very long time. Safety. Real safety. Cale stepped to his side and gently touched Ethan's hand. "She will look after you," Cale said softly. "I told you." Ethan let out a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. The weight on his chest loosened, even if only a little. For the first time since the colony fell, he felt the smallest spark of peace. And he stood there, between a dragon child and his ancient mother, wondering if the universe had not abandoned him after all. The warm air around Ethan felt almost alive as he stood beside Cale in the quiet clearing. The great dragon watched him closely, her golden eyes calm and steady. She did not move except for the slow rise and fall of her breath, but even that gentle motion felt powerful. Ethan tried to steady himself. Everything about this place felt unreal. The glowing plants, the quiet forest, the dragon child who had guided him, and now this massive, ancient creature speaking to him like he was something worth saving. Cale tugged lightly on Ethan's sleeve. "It is all right," Cale said softly. "My mother is kind. She will not hurt you." Ethan nodded, though he was not sure his legs fully believed it. He looked up at the dragon again. Her presence filled the clearing, strong yet calm, warm yet sharp like the edge of a blade that had seen ages. "You are hurt," the dragon said. "Not only in body. Your spirit shakes. Your memories bleed. You carry pain that reaches far beyond your wounds." Ethan lowered his eyes. Yes. "Sit," she said gently. Her voice was deep, but not heavy. It carried a strange comfort, like a warm blanket around his shoulders. Ethan sat on the soft ground. Cale sat beside him, his small wings folding neatly as he rested. The dragon leaned her head closer. The air grew warm around Ethan's arms and chest, but not painfully so. A soft glow rose from her throat, and a thin stream of gentle heat brushed over his skin. Ethan felt something shift inside him. The ache in his shoulder eased. The tightness in his muscles loosened. The sharp pain in his ribs faded to a dull pressure. "This is dragon fire," Cale said quietly. "But not the kind that burns. Mother can heal with it." Ethan stared, amazed. How is that possible?" The dragon let the warm breath continue a moment longer before pulling back. "Our fire does not only destroy," she said. "It can mend, can calm. It can carry life as easily as it carries death." She paused, her eyes softening. "The universe is not only sharp edges, human. Not everything is meant to break you." Ethan swallowed hard, trying to steady his breath. For so long, everything in his life had been war, running, and loss. Now he sat in a glowing forest with a creature he had believed to be a myth, and she spoke to him like he deserved comfort. Kale rested his hand on Ethan's arm. "Mother can help your heart too," Kale said. "If you let her." Ethan looked at the boy. His golden eyes were full of honesty. There was no fear, no doubt, only trust. "Why are you being so kind to me?" Ethan asked. He didn't mean it to sound so broken, but it came out that way. Kale tilted his head. "Because kindness is never wrong. And because you look like someone who has been alone for too long." Ethan felt his chest tighten again, but not with pain this time. Something else. Something warmer. The dragon lowered her head until her eyes were level with his. "You fled something," she said. "Something dark. Something heavy. The marks of fear and loss cling to you like smoke." Her voice grew softer. "Tell me what happened. Not all of it, only what you can speak. The forest will hold the rest." Ethan hesitated. He had not talked about the colony since it happened. Every memory felt sharp, like walking barefoot on broken glass. But Kale's presence beside him felt steady, and the dragon's warm breath felt like a hand on his shoulder. "There was an attack," Ethan said quietly. "I was helping people escape. Families, children." He paused, swallowing. "My team, my whole team, they didn't make it. I tried to protect them. I tried to protect the civilians. But the Empire's ships kept firing. Everything fell apart." His voice cracked. Kale's small hand tightened gently on his arm. "You survived," the dragon said. Ethan nodded. "But it doesn't feel like surviving. It feels like failing." For a moment the clearing fell silent. The dragon closed her eyes, and the soft glow in her chest brightened again. "You carry guilt that does not belong to you," she said. "War steals much from all beings. Even the strongest hearts can crumble under its weight. But hear me, human, you did not fail. You endured. And sometimes, enduring is the bravest act of all." Ethan felt tears sting his eyes again, but he wiped them quickly. He didn't want to break down in front of them, yet he felt something inside him loosen for the first time in months. "Rest here," the dragon said. "The forest will watch over you, and Kale will stay with you. You are not alone anymore." Those words hit him harder than he expected. Not alone. After all this time. Kale smiled up at him. "I told you she would look after you." Ethan let out a small, tired breath. "I guess you did." "Come," Kale said. "I want to show you where I live. It is warm and safe. And you should eat something. Humans get weak fast." He paused and added honestly, "You look very weak." Ethan let out a small laugh despite himself. "Thanks, kid." Kale took his hand and gently tugged. "This way." The dragon lifted her head again, watching them with silent approval as Kale guided Ethan toward a path lined with soft, glowing flowers. As Ethan followed the dragon boy into the deeper part of the forest, he felt something unfamiliar settle in his chest. Not fear, not grief, something quieter, something like hope beginning to breathe again. The forest felt different as Ethan followed Kale along the soft, glowing path. The air was still warm, but now there was a quiet tension beneath it, like the trees themselves were listening. The dragon's comforting presence faded slowly behind them as they walked deeper into the land she guarded. Ethan glanced at Kale. The boy walked with calm steps, but his small wings twitched every now and then, as if picking up something unseen. "Is everything all right?" Ethan asked. Kale nodded, but his eyes scanned the trees. "Yes, but the forest feels strange today. It whispers more than usual." Ethan wasn't sure what that meant, but he didn't push. He could tell Kale understood this place in ways he never could. They soon reached a small cave tucked into a hillside. Soft vines hung around the entrance like curtains, glowing faint blue at the tips. "This is where I live," Kale said proudly. "Mother made it safe. No one can enter without her knowing." Ethan stepped inside and found a warm, simple home. Smooth stone walls curved in soft shapes. Glowing crystals rested in corners, giving off gentle light. A pile of blankets and woven leaves formed a small bed. Another larger space seemed made for the dragon mother to visit. Ethan sat down slowly. His body still felt sore, but the warmth in the cave eased the tightness in his muscles. Kale brought him a bowl made of carved wood filled with soft fruits. Eat. You need strength. My mother says humans faint easily. Ethan gave a tired smile. I won't faint. Not today. Kale sat beside him, swinging his legs. For a moment, everything felt calm. But then a distant sound cut through the silence. A sharp humming. Mechanical. Wrong. Ethan stiffened. He knew that sound. Drones, he whispered. Kale's wings twitched fast. Mother said humans from the Empire never come here. She keeps them away. He frowned. Why are they here now? Ethan's pulse quickened. I think they followed me. Kale looked at him with wide eyes. Why? Ethan sighed, running a hand through his hair. Because I saw something I wasn't supposed to. Something the Empire wanted hidden. They think if they catch me, they can erase it forever. He looked toward the cave entrance. I didn't mean to bring danger here. I'm sorry. Kale shook his head firmly. No. You did not bring danger. Danger brought itself. Mother says truth always calls out trouble. It is not your fault. The sound of the drones grew closer. Ethan moved to the cave entrance and peered through the glowing vines. Small black machines floated above the trees. Their red scanning lights cut through the darkness like thin blades. They're searching, Ethan whispered. Once they find the crash site, they'll spread out. He turned to Kale. We need to warn your mother. Now. Kale nodded quickly and grabbed Ethan's hand. They rushed back into the forest. The glowing plants flickered as they passed, reacting to their speed and fear. The drone's humming growled louder, echoing through the trees. Kale, Ethan said, trying to stay quiet. Has your mother fought the Empire before? Kale's voice came out small. Yes, they tried to take our land once. They wanted the crystals in the mountains. Mother told them to leave. They did not listen. She destroyed their machines. Many humans ran away. He looked up at Ethan. They fear dragons, but they always come back with more metal things. Ethan nodded grimly. That's the Empire. They don't stop. Not unless someone makes them. They reached the clearing where Lasara waited. The great dragon had already lifted her head. Eyes narrowed. I heard them, she said. The metal eyes of the Empire. They crawl across my sky once more. Kale hurried to her side. Mother, they are looking for Ethan. They followed him. Lasara lowered her head, her silver scales glowing with rising heat. I feared this, she said. The Empire grows bold. Their shadows spread too far. Ethan stepped forward. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring this to your home. If I leave, maybe they'll follow me instead of searching here. Lasara's eyes flashed sharply. No. You are under my protection. I will not let them take you. Nor will I let their machines poison my land. Ethan swallowed. Then what do we do? The dragon lifted her wings slightly. The air rippled with heat. We prepare, she said. The Empire seeks to silence truth. But truth has found a voice here, in you and in my child. She looked toward the glowing sky above the treetops. This will not be the last time they come, but we will meet them with strength. Kale stepped beside Ethan and looked toward the lights of the drones. We will stop them, the boy said quietly. Together. The humming grew louder. The red lights drew closer. Ethan felt fear rise, but for the first time in a long while, he did not feel alone. Lasara spread her wings fully, silver fire gathering in her chest. Let them come, she said softly. They will learn what it means to threaten a dragon's child, and the human he chose to save. The day grew quieter as the sun began to slide behind the jagged cliffs. Cole sat near the dying fire, rubbing his palms together even though the heat still clung to the air. The silence of the valley felt too big, almost heavy, like the world was holding its breath. He was used to noise, gunfire, shouting, chaos. Peace felt strange. Peace felt like something waiting to break. Rin walked around the camp, picking up stones and tapping them together. Cole had no idea what the boy was doing, but he watched him anyway. Rin hummed softly, a sound that almost didn't match his fear earlier. He looked like a kid again, young, curious, alive. Cole remembered a time he felt like that. Felt far away now. When Rin finally came back to the fire, he sat down beside Cole without saying anything. For a while, they both stared at the flames, letting the crackling fill the space. It was the first comfortable silence Cole had felt in years. "You know," Rin said after a long moment, "you don't have to look so sad. My mother really can help you. She helps everyone." Cole let out a slow breath. "Kid, there are things she can't fix." His voice was low, almost rough. "Things I can't unsee. Things I can't undo." Rin looked at him with wide eyes, serious in a way that didn't match his age. "Maybe she can't change what happened, but she can help you not feel alone with it." Cole swallowed hard, feeling the sting behind his eyes again. He blinked it away quickly. He didn't want the kid seeing that. Rin reached out and nudged his arm. "It's okay if you cry, you know?" Cole shook his head. "Not tonight." Rin smiled softly. "Okay, but maybe tomorrow." They sat together again, both staring into the fire like it held answers. Maybe it did. Cole felt his chest loosen just a little, like someone had opened a window inside him. Across the valley, a low, distant rumble rolled through the air. Cole tensed instantly, reaching for the weapon he didn't have anymore. Rin didn't move. He recognized the sound. "She's close," the boy whispered. Cole felt a shiver move up his spine. He didn't know what waited for him out there. Healing? Danger? Maybe both. The ground trembled again, stronger this time. Rin stood up slowly. "Don't worry. She won't hurt you. She'll protect you. She protects everyone she cares about." Cole rose with him, his knees stiff. "And you think she'll care about me?" His voice held more doubt than he intended. Rin nodded with complete trust. "I know she will." The rumble grew louder, deep and heavy, like the earth itself was breathing. The trees bent slightly from the force passing through the ground. Cole looked around the shadowed valley, heart pounding. He felt small all of a sudden, like the world was much bigger and stranger than he understood. Then the air changed. Warm, ancient, alive. A massive shape moved beyond the treeline, still hidden in the fading light. Rin smiled, glowing with excitement. "She's here." Cole braced himself. Whatever happened next would change everything. Cole stood frozen as the massive shadow moved closer. Every instinct in him screamed to run, hide, or grab a weapon, anything. But he stayed where he was. Maybe because he was too tired to fight. Maybe because Rin stood beside him, calm as a resting river. The shape stepped into the faint light. Cole's breath left his chest in a rush. The dragon was enormous. Taller than the trees, her scales shimmering like dark metal warmed by sunlight. Her wings folded against her sides, spreading wider than any human aircraft Cole had ever seen. Her eyes glowed, deep gold and sharp, but not cruel. Rin ran forward without fear. "Mother!" The dragon lowered her massive head, touching her snout gently against the boy's shoulder. The movement was soft, tender. Cole blinked. Tender wasn't something he expected from a creature that looked like it could crush mountains. Rin turned and pointed at Cole. "He's the one I told you about." The dragon's golden eyes shifted to Cole. Her gaze was heavy, like she could see every scar he carried, not on his skin but inside his soul. Cole didn't move. He felt like she was reading his life like a book. She lowered her head again, bringing her face close to him. Her warm breath washed over him, smelling faintly of smoke and wild air. "You carry pain," she rumbled. Her voice wasn't human, but he understood it. It echoed deep, like it spoke to the bones instead of the ears. Cole swallowed. "Yeah, I do." Rin stepped beside her. "He saved me today, and he needs help." The dragon studied Cole for a long, quiet moment. "You have walked through war. You have lost pieces of yourself in it." Cole looked away. "I lost more than that." A soft, rumbling sound came from her chest. Not anger, but something like sorrow. "War steals from all who face it, but you are not beyond healing." Cole let out a humorless breath. "Feels like I am." The dragon's giant wings stretched out slowly, and Cole tensed. But instead of danger, he felt something warm settle over him. A soft glow, faint but real, like gentle heat pouring into the cracks inside him. It didn't erase his pain, but it eased it, just a little. Cole stared up, stunned. What was that? A beginning, she said simply. Rin smiled at Cole, bright and hopeful. See? I told you she could help. Cole didn't smile back, but something in his chest eased, like a tight knot finally loosening after years. Suddenly, the dragon looked toward the mountain ridge. Her eyes narrowed. The ground vibrated again, but this time the sound was sharper, metallic, mechanical. Cole recognized it instantly. Engines. Not friendly ones. The dragon lowered her head close to Rin. Stay behind me. Cole turned toward the ridge. Dark shapes appeared in the sky, 3 human ships, but not the peaceful kind. They moved fast, their engines screaming through the valley. Cole's stomach twisted. They're scanning the area. Rin looked worried. For what? Cole's face hardened. For me. The dragon let out a low growl, deep enough to shake the stones around them. They will not take you. Cole met her glowing eyes. For the first time since he left the battlefield, he felt something that wasn't fear or sorrow. He felt protected. The ships drew closer, their lights sweeping across the valley. Rin clutched his mother's scales. What do we do? Cole stepped forward. We get ready. The valley darkened as the ships descended lower, their bright searchlights slicing across the trees. Cole could hear the familiar whine of their engines, the hum of their targeting systems. It dragged memories up from deep inside him. Memories of running, hiding, fighting, losing. He clenched his fists, steadying his breath. Rin stayed close to his mother, eyes wide with fear. Why are they after you? He whispered. Cole didn't look away from the sky. Because I walked away. Because I saw things they don't want anyone talking about. The dragon shifted her enormous body, placing herself between Cole and the approaching ships. Her scales glowed faintly, warming the air around her. You are safe here, she said, her voice like rolling thunder. As long as I breathe. Cole felt something tighten in his chest. Gratitude, sharp and unexpected. He wasn't used to anyone protecting him. Not anymore. The first ship fired a warning shot, a bright streak of energy that scorched the ground nearby. The blast shook the valley. Rin flinched and grabbed his mother's leg. Cole stepped forward instinctively. They're just testing range. They'll fire for real next. The dragon lifted her head, golden eyes burning. Then they will learn. She spread her wings slowly. The sound was like mountains shifting, wind bursting through ancient stone halls. Cole had to brace himself as the powerful gust swept past him. Rin held on tightly, his hair whipping around his face. The ships circled, preparing to attack. Cole yelled toward Rin. Stay behind her. Don't move unless she tells you. Rin nodded, fear trembling through him. Then the first ship launched a real shot, bright, violent, deadly. It streaked toward them. The dragon moved with breathtaking speed. Her wings swept in front of Cole and Rin like a shield. The blast struck her scales and exploded in a burst of light, but she didn't flinch. The shockwave rolled over the ground, kicking up dust and broken stone. Cole stared. How did you take that? The dragon's eyes flicked toward him. A mother's strength is deeper than armor. She lifted her head and unleashed a roar that shook the valley. The sound wasn't just loud. It carried power, ancient and fierce. The ships staggered in the air, their engines sputtering under the pressure of the shockwave. Rin covered his ears, eyes wide with awe. Cole felt the ground quiver under his feet. The dragon launched herself into the sky with a powerful leap. The wind from her wings nearly knocked Cole backward. She rose fast, cutting through the air with terrifying grace. The ships fired again, but she twisted and rolled, dodging easily. Her body glowed with heat, building, growing, spreading. Cole realized what was coming. Rin, he shouted. Get down. Rin dropped to the ground just as the dragon opened her jaws and released a brilliant wave of fire. It arced across the sky, hitting the lead ship. The metal glowed red, then white, then melted. The ship spiraled downward, crashing into the far side of the valley. The remaining two ships panicked, firing wildly. But she was faster, stronger. She slammed into one ship, using her claws to tear through the hull. It exploded in a burst of flames. The last ship tried to flee, engines screaming, but the dragon surged upward, cutting off its escape. She roared again, a sound full of warning, full of promise. The ship trembled, then turned away, fleeing into the clouds. Silence settled slowly over the valley. Cole stood there, breathing hard, staring up at the sky where the last ship had vanished. Rin jumped to his feet, cheering loudly. She did it. She won. Cole couldn't help it, he smiled. A small one, but real. Moments later, the dragon descended, landing with a heavy, powerful thud. She folded her wings, smoke drifting softly from her scales. Rin ran to her immediately. "Mother, are you hurt?" She lowered her head, touching his cheek gently. "No, little one." Then she turned her gaze to Cole. "You are hunted," she said quietly. "But you are not alone now." Cole felt something warm spread through him, a feeling he almost didn't recognize. Hope. Rin smiled up at him. "You can stay with us. She won't let anyone hurt you." Cole looked at both of them. The boy who had shown him kindness, and the dragon who had risked her life for him. He nodded slowly. I'd like that." The dragon lowered her wing, inviting him to step closer. "Come, Cole. Your path has been long and painful, but your new journey begins here." He stepped forward, feeling the warmth of her presence surround him. For the first time in years, he didn't feel like a broken soldier. He felt like someone who could heal. Together, the three of them turned toward the mountains, ready to walk into whatever future waited for them. Side by side, stronger than before.